standing together. And I see parents and grandparents and other union members and activists all standing together to get Yvette Felarca back, because we know this is an attack on all teachers' rights, because we know what's been done to the immigrant students and pulling them out without their parents' permission and interrogating them is completely unacceptable and racist, because we know that we're going to stand up and get her job back, because an injury to one is an injury to all, and if they can do this to her, you can bet if Berkeley thinks it's going to lead the attack on teachers' rights, they are wrong. This community is standing up to say, no, we will not tolerate it. We're standing strong for Berkeley's tradition of progress by saying to this school board, take responsibility. If you ever want to be reelected in this district, you need to put Ms. Felarca back in her classroom now. She stood up against the Nazis on her summer vacation. She was stabbed and then received death threats from Trump supporters and Nazis. And instead of calling her to see how she was doing, and instead of assuring the students and teachers and community of Berkeley schools that they would be safe and that this school district would stand up against racism, the school district put out a public statement making clear they would concede to those racist threats and that they would take action against Ms. Felarca. But we do not learn the lessons of history. People said ignore Hitler and he'll go away. We refuse to ignore an attack on the progress of the Berkeley schools. Martin Luther King Jr. Middle School is named that for a reason, because this is the first school district in the nation to voluntarily desegregate, to mix the hills and the flatlands and say all our students of different races will go together to school and get an equal quality education. And that is the tradition that Yvette Felarca stands on. She was one of the key instrumental people in defending that school integration plan some years ago and is well known through the community for that as well. She has consistently fought for equal treatment for Black and Latino students, and she's a committed English language development teacher of mostly immigrant students in a district where it's so important as you come to this country for a new life to have people that will listen and understand and support and help you, that you can talk to about your fears of things like Donald Trump, and that will say, don't worry, we have your back, we will stand up for equality. We need more Yvette Felarcas. We need her back in the classroom now. Ms. Felarca speaks for me. Berkeley wants equality. Ms. Felarca speaks for me. Berkeley wants equality. Ms. Felarca speaks for me. So Yvette Felarca has been out on leave for several weeks now. She was taken out of a staff meeting, told to take her bag, and made to leave her classroom without her stuff, on no real charges. In the letters from the Berkeley School District, they accuse her of trying to brainwash her co-workers by asking for their opinion on issues. In the letters, they say that she, as a union rep, should know that her classroom is district equipment and she can never discuss any issues that might disagree with the superintendent or the school board there. That's a bold, flat lie. Unions have contracts, union reps have rights to represent their members and to have meetings and organize. And yes, unions have the right to use district mailboxes because we have the right to communicate and organize. And to say that she doesn't have the right to speak the truth, to say that it is wrong to take immigrant students out of their classrooms and interrogate them without their parents' permission, that's unacceptable. I want to thank the parents that have filed the cease and desist order, that have made clear they're not going to let their students be interrogated. I want to thank the Berkeley Federation of Teachers for signing up to have agreements to demand her payback, and she needs to be back in that classroom. There is nothing. She is only accused of having been a civil rights activist. They took her whole August paycheck. They took a month's pay. I'm sorry, but slavery does not exist anymore. Those were sick days that had been approved. Those were personal leave days that had been approved. She's got the proof in her bank statement that the district broke California law by putting her paycheck in and then reaching in and taking out her whole paycheck in August the next day. That's blatantly illegal under labor law, under any kind of human rights law, and under any kind of moral standard. You don't sign off for somebody's rights and then take back their money. You know any school district would do that if they could go back and take all our paychecks 3 years later, claiming they're broke. No, we have contract rights, we have civil rights. Teachers do not lose their free speech on their summer vacation. I'm sorry. But I'm proud of the fact that Yvette went up there to stop those Nazis because they had gone there to stab people. Nazis had rallied in Anaheim in February, and they had stabbed anti-racist protesters. And the anti-racist protesters were charged, and no Nazis were charged. When the anti-racist protesters were the ones in the hospital. That's what happened in Sacramento. They went there to stab people. They're trying to build a racist movement. They're not just talking. It's not a question of free speech. It's that they are rallying, using Donald Trump's trying to organize for making racism okay to talk about. They're trying to make attacks. And she stood up against that. And she was stabbed. And instead of supporting her or even asking how she's doing, the school district publicly stated that they would attack her for having stood up against the Nazis on her summer vacation. There's all different political views on many things here, but I'm pretty sure we can all agree that teachers should have the right to have political and civil rights on their summer vacation, and that teachers should not be censored in the classroom. Berkeley Schools has an academic freedom policy, which they blatantly violated in saying that she talks about issues of immigration in a class of English language learners, and they're asking questions, and if you're talking about things that are mattering to you, because she's the kind of teacher that will engage students, that will look at who they are and what matters to them and make sure that they can discuss and that they can learn the vocabulary that they need to articulate their hopes and dreams, their views. Several years ago, when Ms. Felarca and other teachers like myself from Oakland fundraised on our own time on weekends with students and with parents to go march on Washington to support to demand a federal DREAM Act. We were so proud, and the parents were so proud of their students. And when we got back, the school district sent a nasty letter to immigrant parents saying, you know that wasn't a real school field trip, right? Yes, the parents were so proud that their students took their time in organizing to stand up for immigrant rights. We don't hear that about ski trips by a different organization. That wasn't a real school field trip. It's clear that only when people have stood up for political issues that matter to the future of this community, like union rights, like civil rights, like immigrant rights, that they've come under attack. And this is the opposite of what Berkeley needs to be doing.
I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. And for coming out last week and coming out the week before. I especially want to thank my students and my former students who are all here. To the parents of my students and former students. To my co-workers, my colleagues, to the community members who are here. I cannot tell you how much this means to me. I really can't. And I know what they're doing is wrong. I know that this school board knows that what is happening to me is wrong. I know they know that. I know that they know that because I know that I'm a good teacher. I know that what it means for me to teach in the Berkeley Unified School District is more than about a book. It's more than about a curriculum. It's about a real set of relationships. It's about the lives of myself and the students and the future that they have a right to know that they deserve. And that means we've got to stand up and defend that. That's why that's not only why I'm an activist and a civil rights organizer in BAM. That's not the only reason I'm an activist in my union in the BFT. It's also why I'm a teacher. And the students more than anyone else. You are our hope. You are the ones who teach us. And you have a right to learn and develop your own sense of right and wrong. To learn and develop your own sense of morality, of political and social principles, to realize your own vision of social justice. That's what this is about in the end, from the beginning and at the end. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming, because we got to go in there and make that school board fix this and tell them the truth. Everyone who wants to speak, we encourage you to speak. If you don't want to speak, still fill out a speaker card because we have designated speakers that you can cede your time to. But thank you for coming, and please stay, and let's make sure they hear from us. I want to be back in my classroom tomorrow.
so much to her students. The amount of young people who have been, you know, looked up to and been touched and had their lives changed by Yvette Felarca is like uncountable. And one of these students is right here. He's one of my current students, but has been a political leader with myself, with Ms. Felarca, with BAM. And so he wants to say why he's here today.
I'm here today to fight Ms. Felarca to come back to school. And they should let
the school district?
The school district to come to tell people in front of the district to fight our civil rights. She should let people to protest, to let them kids to fight our state.
I support Miss Felarca because she could take out kids to protest on her free time. The district is stupid by taking out about her bank account and also that's it.
Hi, my name is Quentin, and I was gonna say, like, it's not right that they doing this to her, and they should do something, that they should not be able to do this, and we should do something about it. And it's kind of a nice crowd of people out here to fight with us, and I'm proud to see this, and I hope there should be more, and tell your friends at work, and the little kids to tell their little friends to come, and stuff like that. And yeah.
Good evening, fellow Berkeley and Berkeleyans. I have been acquainted with this city since my late husband did his PhD in mathematics at UCal Berkeley. And during his time in the late 50s, early 60s, the Mario Savia movement was getting up and going, and Berkeley was the example all around the world for standing up to authority. I find it impossible to believe that we're now going in the other direction. And my late husband's bones are rattling where he is. And my late daughter's ashes are swirling in her urn where she is. So I think it's interesting that we have teachers like Yvette Felarca who are teaching their students living history, not just out of the dry pages of history books. They're now helping to make history by protesting injustice, and particularly in this case to their teacher. It is not right that teachers be treated in this fashion. This school district should be very happy that they have teachers like Yvette Felarca. They could use a few more. And not to throw them out, but to try to attract them by treating people like her right. That's right. So that's what I have.
And if there's other people that want to speak, come up. And I think I want to really agree, like, that this is what we got to say to that school board in there, that they need to stop hiding behind closed meetings, that they need to stop acting like they don't have power when they're the elected officials that are running this district. They can take a public stand in this meeting to say, I will vote to support teachers and have her back in the classroom. They're going to say, oh, we can't talk, it's personnel matter. We want to demand that each of them publicly pledge to support her and to vote for immediate reinstatement. If they want to get reelected, if they don't want Berkeley to be the front of the attack instead of the front of progress, they need to do that. So the school board needs to take action to reinstate her tonight with her back pay. Are there other folks that would like to say something right now? Okay. Yeah, I think that there's a really good range of people here that have made a lot of good arguments.
What's your name?
I'm Tanya Kapner. I work with the BAM Civil Rights Group.
All right. Let's give a big round of applause to Tanya Kapner for keeping the momentum going here. Ready to do something about this. Right on. Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you. And thank you all, because this is a range of people, and this shows the breadth of the support. I mean, people know that like 80 people came out to that meeting at the North Berkeley Library the other week. People know that petitions are circulating. Berkeley High students have been speaking about it, are very upset, very, very upset. The middle school students are also wearing these cool stickers that I see people wearing that we stand with Ms. Felarca. And I know there's more of those stickers around that you're welcome to take back to other people tonight. And I'm sure there's blank copies of the petition. But, you know, if they don't take a vote tonight, we're going to have to keep organizing. We're going to have to step it up. But we do demand that they take a vote publicly tonight. That they could reinstate her and say, you know what? This was not the norm. This was not the official way that things are supposed to be done. To take a teacher out in the middle of the school year with no reason and do an investigation with no suspect. She's been given no explanation. Her students were just pulled out and questioned without knowing why or what. That's unacceptable.
The next item on the agenda is the public comment, and it's only for 30 minutes at the beginning of each meeting. The Vice President and I have organized the speaking requests by agenda item and whether the speaker supports, opposes, or wish that the board modify the item. We'll rotate through the relevant agenda items so that we can hear from at least one person on each agenda item from each position. We'll first hear from our students, our seniors, people over 65, and any individuals with disabilities that have come to address the board. I want to thank the public for reminding the board at our last board meeting that we need to make this adjustment to our speakers format to accommodate our seniors and those with special needs. If your name is not called, you may cede your time to another speaker. To do so, please rise when it is your turn to speak and state your name and indicate to whom you're ceding your time to. By ceding your time, you forgo your opportunity to speak at tonight's board meeting on that issue, and no one can later cede their time to you to speak on that issue. In addition, tonight's speakers are limited to 2 because we have several people. We're trying to accommodate everybody within the 30 minutes. As the president of the board, it's my discretion to allow for extra time for those who need translation or have other special needs. When there's 1 minute left, the light at the lectern will turn yellow. When your time has elapsed, the light at the lectern will turn red, and you will hear beeping. If you are speaking when your time is up, you're allowed to finish your sentence and thought. Please do not try to speak beyond your 2 minutes. We understand that there are really important issues about which many people feel very passionate about. However, in order to be fair to all the speakers, I will have to cut you off and ask that the microphone be turned off as is necessary. Please do not take it personally, nor go beyond the time allowed, as you are taking away time from the other speakers. It's our goal to be respectful to everyone and ask the same from us, which means please do not use swear words or language that's profane, as sometimes in the audience we have children and youth, and we ask for everyone to practice in public a respectful way of getting your message across. Remember, these videos are online for eternity. We'll hear as many speakers as we can within 30 minutes, and I will hold to the 30 minutes. This is what we've been doing since last year, and we've been practicing all along at every board meeting since December 2015. The public oftentimes comes out to show support for their speaker or the topic. You can stand up and show with them, as this shows how many people in the audience are in support of the public comment being made. And please allow the person to read and say their comments. For each green card we pull, I will call the name of the speaker to keep things moving along. I'll kindly ask that the speaker who is next in line to come forward and wait near the lectern. I apologize in advance if I mispronounce your name. In light of how many cards we have, it is very likely not everyone will be called to speak. Please also note that there's another public comment period at the end of our meeting, which will probably be approximately 10:30. You're welcome to stay until then to speak to the board or to send your email to boardofed@berkeley.net. Finally, other than thanking each member for the public for coming to the board during the public comment, the board does not respond directly to your comments or questions made during the public comment period. Please do not take this as an indication of our interest level or our compassion for what you're saying. I assure you that we all take comments seriously and oftentimes wish we could respond directly to all board comments, but then we would be here indefinitely. Board members can, if they choose, respond to the public during their board comments, which are scheduled to occur after committee comments, and our superintendent and staff also take note and oftentimes will follow up with the speaker. Board members also, as you know, have computers in front of them and are taking notes to follow up with the superintendent or staff. We take seriously that the community has made time to come out to the board instead of being at home with their family and in the comfort of their home. Thank you, and now we'll begin our 30 minutes of public comments.
Oh, okay. Hi, my name is Jimena, and I just got to say that Ms. Felarca was a great teacher. She was kind, and she teach me as an immigrant how to know my rights and to understand more about who I was really. She helped me with all that, and then she's great, and then that I love her, and then I feel like she's part of my family. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Asha, and Miss Felarca was my amazing teacher for less than a month. I mean, I came to school, she was really amazing, she taught us incredibly. And then one day I came to school and she wasn't there. She just kind of vanished. And no one would tell us where she was and what happened to her. And we were all just very confused. And we had many subs, and many of them didn't really know what they were doing. And every class we've been doing the same thing over and over. And I just want to say I stand with Miss Felarca.
Thank you.
My name is Audrey, and I had Miss Felarca 2 years ago. I'm a Berkeley High student now. She was the most amazing teacher. She helped all of us with everything. She cared so much about us. You could really tell how much she cared about her students. She was absolutely incredible, and I know that all the students that had her think she's absolutely incredible. She taught us everything about our rights. She taught us how to stand up for ourselves. She taught us how to stand up for what we believe in. And I think that's some really important lessons that not all teachers teach us in our schools. They don't teach us how to live in society like Ms. Felarca did. And I just want to say I stand with Ms. Felarca.
Hello, my name is Saida Romero, and I am Ms. Felarca's former student, also an immigrant. And we are here today to demand justice for her, a woman who has fought her entire life for civil rights. We want her back now.
Hi, I'm Lupe and I go to Berkeley High. Ms. Felarca has empowered me to be here, and until she's not back in her classroom, better believe that we are going to continue to fight for her every single day of our lives.
Hello, my name is Brian Gonzalez, and I go to EOP, to elementary school. That's not fair that the district don't let Yvette bring kids to protest, and we will let Yvette to come back to school.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nelly. I am a student at EOP, and I stand with Ms. Felarca, and it's not fair what you guys are doing, because Ms. Felarca deserves to take kids out to protest on her free time, and you should let her back in her class tomorrow, and she does not deserve being treated bad or being against by Donald Trump or anybody. And yeah.
Hi, my name is Milan, and I really want Miss Felarca back in the class because I don't think it's fair that she shouldn't be in the class just because she wants to protest. And if she protests and people do stuff to her, I don't think that she shouldn't be able to teach with kids because people think that kids are gonna have be affected by what she's doing. So I stand with Miss Felarca.
Thank you. My name is Isis Farrell. I have a child at Berkeley High. We like to think of Berkeley as a progressive town, but this last year, some disturbing things happened here. At Berkeley High, racist pages found their way into the yearbook. A noose was found hanging from a tree. Then a message was found on a school computer citing the KKK and threatening the school. Your administration took much too long to alert families. I'm proud the students took action themselves and walked out in protest. Since then, neo-Nazis rallied at UC without interference and barely anyone even noticed. As a grandchild of resistors to the Nazi regime in Germany, who suffered torture, including my grandmother's fiancé, who was beheaded for trying to stop them before they took power, I'm horrified at the indifference. Fascist gangs are building alliances and emboldened by Trump. After ignoring these influences in our community, how dare you punish a teacher for spending her own summer vacation helping stop neo-Nazis from holding a recruitment rally in Sacramento and getting stabbed in the process? When fascists then threaten to harm the children if Ms. Felarca is not fired, the proper response would have been to defend the entire community, including Ms. Felarca, not capitulate to neo-Nazis as you're doing now. Ms. Felarca is not endangering our children, but you are. You have violated a fundamental trust with the community and the civil rights of our children by interrogating students without parental notification, consent, or presence. When the district conducts a McCarthy-like witch hunt against one teacher, it does not bode well for other teachers who dare act on their convictions. I urge the unions to stand with Ms. Felarca, because if these bureaucrats get away with this, don't doubt for a moment that one of you all is next. An injury to one is an injury to all. The bottom line is, we need teachers who understand the history of how violent thugs usher in fascist regimes. We need teachers who help prevent young people from being seduced by neo-Nazis and to help prepare them for confrontations with fascism in their own lives. We need teachers like Yvette Felarca. Reinstate her now, pay her wages she's owed, and stop the harassment of our students.
Thank you.
So Miss Felarca was my teacher last year, and so now I'm in 8th grade. And when I heard that she wasn't teaching in her class anymore, I was pissed because she was a great teacher. She taught everyone in her class that they should be true to who they are and that they should fight for what they think is right. And so I think a teacher should, if they have to leave the school, they have to leave the school, but not for what they do on their free time, but what they do in the class. And she did not do anything in the class. And I support Ms. Felarca.
Good evening, I'm Valerie Trahan. To the members of the board, Joshua Rosen Daniels, your California State Bar number is 259676. Ty Alper, your California State Bar number is 196840. Judy K. Appel, your California State Bar number was 179121. You are no longer a practicing attorney, and currently you are on inactive status with the State Bar. In 2006, you were suspended by the State Bar for failure to pay fees. Part of the privilege to practicing law is to behave in an ethical manner. It is time for us to investigate whether or not your behavior as board members complies with the standards of the California State Bar. In addition, outside counsel Marlene Lee Sachs, her State Bar number is 161388. Marlene Sachs exhibited dubious behavior at the Personnel Commission meeting recently regarding her conflict of interest and attempting to represent conflicting bodies of the Berkeley Unified School District. Referencing Penal Code Section 134, employees district-wide are complaining that the statement of charges, NUCs and NUPs, compiled by district lawyers, the administration, and approved by the school board are often false, misleading, or misconstrued. If true, this is a felony recognized by California law. Therefore, employees will begin to seek out assistance from penal bodies for the redress of their grievances. I yield back the remainder of my time.
Hi, how you doing? My name is Juan Montiel. I'm just here to say that, the way Felarca is getting treated is not right. She does what she does on her own free time. She's here, teaching kids to exercise their rights in every way. And, she herself is over here, exercising her rights of freedom of speech. And she obviously has a lot of influences, all the kids, wherever she's touched. And, we have people like, the principal for, Berkeley High School that has been chased out of, a middle school for, sexual harassing women, young women. And now he's over here at a high school being a principal. I don't think that's right, And at the same time, Berkeley Unified is over here protecting this child that, that is a minor, but it doesn't matter. He's over here doing some, racial threats, KKK threats that are not right to brown, black, any student at all. So, Ms. Felarca should be, be teaching. I don't know why you guys are putting her aside like she did something wrong. Things happen, but she's over here, practicing her freedom of speech, and she obviously has a lot to offer to all these young kids. Doesn't matter where she teaches or what she does, but she's here, affecting kids in a right, positive way. So, you guys should really look at what you guys are judging.
The Berkeley administration has no right to attack me for taking political stands, either in Sacramento against the Nazis and the KKK, or for taking any of the political stands that I've taken against racism, sexism, and in defense of teachers and students against discrimination and abuse. This school board must recognize the grave errors that have been made and reverse them now. Return me to my classroom tomorrow, because I want to teach. The outcome of my struggle is vital to the rights of other teachers, to the struggle against racism, and against the growth of the far right wing and American fascism. And the decision of BUSD to discipline and suspend me for my off-duty political activities, for my political affiliations and activism, placed Berkeley on the wrong side of the historic struggle against the far right and their violent attacks. I am a teacher and a civil rights activist. My commitment to social justice informs my teaching, and my commitment to my students strengthens my activism. I've seen Berkeley change over the past 10 years since I first started teaching, and I have seen the drop in Black and Latino student enrollment in our schools. That has hurt the quality and the character of our education system in this city, and it must be reversed. But despite this, I have been fortunate to teach immigrant students and a diverse array of students from dozens of different countries and every racial and ethnic background. And I promise you that whether I stood up against the Nazis and defended myself and others from their violence, or whether or not I'm standing up here to call on you to correct this, I agree with Langston Hughes, who said in his poem, "Oh yes, I say it plain, America was never America to me, and yet I swear this oath, America will be."
Carol Wolfley, Linda Halpern.
My name is Carol Wolfley. I'm a retired teacher and community member. I want to thank everyone in this group who is here tonight, looking around at all the teachers and all the parents and all the students. That's what community is about. And as a teacher, I can tell you that all you have on the front line in a challenging political, economic, and social time is your teachers. I cannot begin to tell you the things that teachers deal with day to day in this culture and this society. And the teachers are the ones who find their way through those messes day after day, picking up the messes of this society. And when I heard in Sacramento that people were carrying poles with box cutters taped onto them, and that they were stabbing people, and that they had done that in Anaheim before, I was proud to know that a fellow teacher went there and took a stand. Because that meant that somebody cared. Somebody cared about her students and all students. And that means a lot. And this is a time when a lot of you may be hoping for re-election, and we're trying to find our way through an electoral circus. But I hope that you can dig deep in your hearts and find a way to be part of this community. Yes. Because we're here with you. Thank you.
Mark Airgood. I'm part of the Equal Opportunity Now, by any means necessary Civil Rights Caucus. I'm here standing with Yvette Felarca and calling on this board to put her back into her classroom immediately. Yes. It's absolutely clear from everyone who's packing this room, from everyone who's been signing petitions, who's been calling out the board, who's been fighting for the last 2 weeks since Ms. Felarca's suspension for her to be returned. It's clear from the passionate statements we hear that she's an exemplary teacher. She represents what's best about Berkeley, the ideals of Berkeley, of someone who's ready to put into action and express to her students their rights, a fight against immigrant bashing, a fight against racism, a fight for equality, and give them the confidence to live on that. This board, the question before you tonight is to take a stand. As the last speaker just said, to stand with the community, to stand with the parents at Martin Luther King, to stand with the students across Berkeley, to stand with the community and take a real position. I would ask this board to be clear. There's no reason that you can't have her back in the classroom tomorrow. There's no reason that you can't say you support her. You need to do that. That's the only way to demonstrate that you stand with the ideals of Berkeley and not on the side of the witch hunt that's being launched against her. This board has to take a position. I don't know what all the forces are, why district administrators are pulling kids out of the classroom without telling their parents, why the principal is going through file cabinets, why all this stuff is happening. You need to take a stand tonight against that, end this, and put Ms. Felarca back in her class.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Pam Valentine. I'm a BUSD parent of 2 girls, and I'm here to support Ms. Felarca and to support my daughter in getting back the education that she deserves. I'm going to share with you the letter I sent to the school board members. I'm writing to express my sadness and sense of loss regarding the suspension of Ms. Felarca. I first met Ms. Felarca while working as a writing coach in her class last year. I was struck by the tenderness with which she dealt with her ELD students and with the patience she exhibited in working with a wide range of students in terms of language, cultures, age, and their fluency in English. I remember thinking what a lovely introduction to the American education system these kids were receiving. Having witnessed the way Ms. Felarca taught her students last year, I was delighted this fall when I found out my 7th grade daughter had been assigned to her class for English and history. My daughter shared my enthusiasm, and during the first few weeks of school spoke often not just of what she had learned in Ms. Felarca's class, but also what patience Ms. Felarca had in dealing with students. At back to school night, I was absolutely floored by the presentation Ms. Felarca gave to the parents. Having attended these nights every year for my 2 daughters, the oldest one is now in high school, I can say without hesitation that what she had to say was by far the most inspirational of anything I'd heard from any BUSD teacher. Her commitment to social justice, her goals of teaching kids to understand and respect their differences with their classmates, and her compassion in interacting with different groups was truly awe-inspiring. I remember thinking how lucky my daughter, as an adolescent girl of color, was, and how much she could learn from this woman and look to her as a role model. So it's with a heavy heart that I now wrote this letter, knowing that Ms. Felarca has been suspended, hearing daily from my daughter how discouraged she feels by what's going on in her English and history class, now that they're being taught by a substitute. Listening to my daughter, one who's always looked with excitement to her time in the classroom, say that the worst part of her day is going to school because we don't do anything, has inspired me to write. It's maddening to me that my child is not getting the education she deserves, and it's maddening that this is happening because the district is punishing her very capable teacher because of her social activism that was done on her own time outside of school.
Thank you.
I implore you to bring her back. The kids need and have a right to their education, and your decision has deprived them of that opportunity.
Thank you. Tanya Capron, we have 8 minutes left. Tanya Capron. 80 hung.
And I'm here with Alexis and Quentin, who were the students that did not get to speak yet, because we stand with Ms. Felarca. And I want to say that we demand that this district stop the racist targeting of immigrant students by pulling them out of the classroom, interrogating them, trying to frame up a teacher who has done nothing wrong. This is outrageous. Instead of standing up, asking if this teacher who was stabbed by Nazis over her summer vacation, trying to defend the community of Sacramento and of the state, one of the anti-racists stabbed, and no Nazis were charged. The police saw what they did. It was all anti-racists stabbed. Instead of asking if she's okay and stating that you will defend the students of Berkeley schools against racist attacks, I heard parents were driving around to see that the school was okay. And the parents were doing that job while you were publicly stating that you would attack Ms. Felarca after she was receiving death threats from Nazis and Trump supporters. You publicly state that you will concede to them. I'm sorry, we will not let Donald Trump run this district. That is unacceptable. We demand that you stop conceding to these racist attacks. We demand Ms. Felarca be back in the classroom immediately. I'm a proud public school teacher. I want to let you know the Oakland Education Association has supported the immediate putting of Ms. Felarca back as well. We stand with the Berkeley Federation of Teachers in filing the grievance to get her back all the pay that you illegally stole from her August paycheck. And we demand that Berkeley stand up. I'm proud to have worked with Ms. Felarca for years as a civil rights and immigrant rights organizer, marching for the DREAM Act. That was something parents were proud of when you threatened them, telling them it wasn't an official field trip, which they knew full well because their kids were fundraising every weekend to go to D.C. Okay, that's a shame and a scandal. She needs to be back now. You need to take a vote today. I don't care if you do it in a 5-minute closed session and come back and tell us now, or if you each, actually I demand you each publicly state now your position if you ever want to get reelected. I yield my time to Alexis.
Hi, my name is Alexis Ramirez. I go to Oakland Tech. I'm an Oakland Tech student. I know her since last year. Yeah, I like her. She's really nice. She's a wonderful, wonderful lady. Yeah, I agree with her. Her students gotta learn. What students go to school? To learn, right? Am I right? They go to learn for a reason. But they think so they can really make it to college. They wanted to be a teacher. I say this. I want to be a soccer player when I grow up. They want to be somebody when they grow up. But when you fire her, what they gonna be is they're not learning nothing at school. Exactly. Point. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, just like he said, like her daughter, like she comes home and complains about that how they're learning the same thing or whatever because she's not happy because y'all took her away from them. Like the kids here, they like her. They like enjoy working with her because she's a good teacher. So when the kids, of course, they want to be basketball players, firemen, whatever. And like she said, y'all cheering Donald Trump on, which is y'all shouldn't be able to do that. He's a a-hole. Well, my bad for saying that, but yeah, shouldn't. Yeah, so yeah, that's all I'm gonna say.
So we stand with Felarca.
Yeah.
We have 2 more speakers in that.
My name is Adrienne Hogue. I'd like to yield to Ted Levithon. Is he here? Yep.
And then 1 more speaker.
Thank you.
My name is Ted Gilles-Edouard Leviton. Again, I'm from the Ivory Coast, West Africa. And my son, Brian, is really worrying about his teacher. He's not following the class because he doesn't understand anything from a substitute. He wants his teacher back now, please. We don't do that. We left Africa to come here to get a better life. That's what I'm seeing, that's what's going on in Africa. We don't want that, please. Get her back to class now. Give her her money back. She needs her money to survive. Please. My son and his friends, they need education from Miss Felarca. She's a great teacher. She teaches them everything that we know about this country, about their lives. Please get her back to school now. Now. And, as I said, you are the board. The school, they took my son out of the school without my permission. Are you okay with that? If your son, your daughter was doing like that, they did that to your daughter, will you be happy about it? Please, do something, please. Thank you.
This is our last speaker. You can do, I think that one works.
Thank you very much. Paul Kalo Blake. I've been in your community for close to 40 years. And generally, when I come before bodies like you, I wax poetically about the situation, and I run out of time. I'd like to jump to the end. I find this occasion disgusting, embarrassing, and shameful. I pay good money into this district as a teacher, as an activist, and as a parent. You guys are shameful in your treatment of a teacher who is teaching our children to stand for their rights and social justice. You are allowing children not to learn that. You are allowing them instead to go to their knees. My daughter was educated in the Berkeley school system, and it has changed so much in the last 10 years. We used to take pride in marching with our children. We used to take pride with singing songs. We no longer have that option thanks to you. And it's shameful, it's disgraceful. Get her back into the classroom immediately. Thanks.
That now concludes public comment. Thank you, everyone. Muchas gracias to all those who spoke and came to speak. If you did not get to speak or did not get to speak enough, an extended public comment period is scheduled at the end of the meeting. Additionally, you can always email the board directly at Board of Ed. Again, each board member also has office hours, which are listed in the board packet. Online, you can go to berkeley.net. Now there's an opportunity to hear from our unions. The district has 4 unions. The Berkeley City Council of Classified Employees represents. Please don't interrupt. We will hear now and continue our agenda. We're going to hear from our unions. Do we have our unions?
You could say you're going to make a statement on behalf of the board comment.
We will say, if you would stop, we can talk. Please stop. We were respectful. We were respectful in hearing you. Now you have to stop the process. Please be quiet. So I will read a statement that was made by myself and the superintendent. And this. No, it's not, it's personnel, we're not. No, we're not going to talk. If it's not, if you don't silence, then we will recess to closed session.
Let him go for it.
So you can go on for 3 minutes. I can't talk because you're yelling. You can't talk because you're yelling. Well, that's it. That's it. You can get your 3 minutes to keep yelling, but either we call a closed session, the board will go into closed session.
Just let him go. It's all right, Beatrice. Let him go for a little bit. Just let him go for a little bit. I would say we have Kathy. We have Kathy here for public comment.
We have our union leader who is here to speak to the board. We have our union leader who's here to speak to the board. It's part of the agenda. That's the next part that comes. Ms. Felarca spoke. Please, we have an agenda to follow. I'm sorry, we're talking about our agenda here today. Nothing.
Let him chant for a little bit, I think. Just let it go for a little bit.
So this is what happens if you don't stop talking over us, we can't communicate. We will not. If you don't stop talking, we will recess to closed session, and then we will close. Nothing is going to happen today. It's just not going to happen, guys. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen today. It's not going to happen.
I wouldn't respond to that. Turn off the mic.
So.
Where do you stand? Where do you stand? You stand against Ms. Felarca. So say it, because you will never hold office in this town again. Be honest.
Josh Daniels, where do you stand? Josh Daniels,
So if we cannot continue our agenda, we will go into closed session for 10 minutes until this quiets down, and then we will continue our agenda. If we cannot get order, it's not good. I'm sorry. We're gonna recess to closed session.
stand, because it's not just about me. It's about Asha, who spoke today. It's about Milan, my student, who spoke today. It's about Daria, who couldn't be here, but her mom was here today. It's about Segan, whose mother Pam spoke tonight. It's about Bianca, who had me last year, or Noah, who has me now. Every single one of my students has a right to have me back in their classroom. Every single parent who's here tonight and who couldn't be here tonight has a right to know that their child is going to come home and they would have gotten the best education that I know they would get if I was in there. That is not happening, no matter what the good intentions are and the best and how hard any teacher or substitute teacher filling in can do. It doesn't substitute for the relationship and the commitment and the connections that we make together and started to make together from the beginning of the school year as teachers. It matters, and I can't tell you enough how much this means. The outpouring of support from my students, who I share your tears, but we are going to win this. We're going to win this. We're going to win it. We're going to win it. We just have to. Because we can't let this happen to any other students, and we can't let this happen to any other teachers either.